Let me ask you something weird but true. If I literally handed you $1 million business idea right now, would your brain even know what to do with it? Seriously, most people think money is about hustle, grind, stocks, crypto, real estate, all that jazz. And sure, that stuff matters. But what if I told you that the real wealth game is won in the head before it's ever won out there? Because honestly, the truth is, your brain is either printing money or self-sabotaging your future, and you're not even aware of it. Over the next few minutes, we're diving into the 10 psychological rules you must program into your mind if you ever want to build true, lasting wealth. And we're talking full mental rewire. No fluffy motivation quotes, no vague believe in yourself speeches, just cold, hard money-making brain code. So strap in, because this first one is going to slap you harder than your bank account after a weekend in Vegas. Rule number 10, train your RAS for wealth. You know that thing where you buy a red car and suddenly every car on the road is red? That's not magic. That's your brain's RAS. Basically stands for reticular activating system. It's like your built-in filtering software. And once I explain this to you, you'll start to understand. If your RAS is programmed to notice lack, debt, and fear, guess what shows up more in your life? Exactly. But if you intentionally feed your RS with wealth cues, books, conversations, environments, even YouTube videos like this one, your brain starts seeking out opportunities instead of obstacles. Millionaires don't just think differently, they filter differently. You will never see wealth until your brain knows where to look. Now that your brain's on wealth detection mode, let's plug in the next mental upgrade. This one's about eliminating a dangerous thought virus hiding in plain sight. Rule number 9, delete the employee mindset. Here's a cold, hard truth. If you've been raised in the school job retire loop, you were literally programmed to be broke. The employee mindset is about trading time for money, obeying rules, avoiding risk, and waiting for permission. You were born with potential, but then life handed you a blueprint called the system. Go to school, get good grades, work a job, don't ask questions, retire at 65. And maybe, if you're lucky, you won't hate your life. That's not a success plan. That's a slow financial death by 1,000 paychecks. The employee mindset teaches you to trade time for money. Follow orders, avoid risk, collect a secure paycheck. But guess what? Security is the new slavery. You're not paid what you're worth. You're paid just enough to not leave. This is one of the things I mentioned to you in our previous video. Millionaires aren't allergic to hard work. They're allergic to ceilings. They know time is limited, so they focus on leverage, equity, and scalability. Think of it like this. Employees rent their time. Entrepreneurs build a machine that prints money while they sleep. If you're always clocking in to earn, you're stuck in someone else's wealth plan. Real example, one guy I knew worked 70 hours a week at his job. Another worked 10 hours a week on a Shopify store he built. Guess who made more in 6 months? Hint, the one who didn't ask for a lunch break. But even bosses can stay broke, unless they master this next rule. It's not sexy, but it separates rich minds from rich wannabes. Rule number 8, think in systems, not tasks. Let me explain a concept to you that I want you to remember for the rest of your life. Millionaires don't do everything. They build systems that do everything. If you're still bragging about how busy you are, congrats, you've been brainwashed. Millionaires don't glorify effort, they glorify results, especially results that happen without their daily involvement. That's called building a system. A system is a set of repeatable actions that produce a consistent result. A system doesn't get tired, it doesn't complain, it doesn't need motivation, it just works. Here, think of it like this. Most people treat their lives like a game of whack-a-mole. They chase emails, deadlines, errands, meetings, all while ignoring the bigger picture. What if you didn't have to be the one doing the work? Example, a digital marketer used to create every Facebook ad manually. Then he built templates, hired a VA, and created automated reports. That system now runs his $40,000 a month agency while he works 6 hours a week. The reason is simple. Want to be rich? Build systems that outwork you. If your income depends on you showing up every day, you don't have freedom. You have a fancy job, and this concept has more details, and we'll dive deeper into it in upcoming videos in the Stealth Wealth Mindset series. Anyways, now that you're thinking like a system architect, let's upgrade your mental blueprint with one of the most underused wealth triggers ever. Rule number 7, fall in love with long-term boredom. This is golden advice I want you to remember for the rest of your life. Because here's the unfiltered truth. Getting rich is shockingly boring. That's right, no Lamborghini test drives, no popping bottles in Ibiza. Just you showing up every day, stacking small wins, and watching compound interest quietly work its magic like a financial ninja in the shadows. The brain, however, hates repetition. It wants novelty. It craves TikTok dopamine loops and last-minute crypto pumps. But millionaires, they get rich doing the same unsexy thing over and over. Investing, creating value, improving systems, and waiting. Jeff Bezos built Amazon by obsessing over one core idea, customer convenience. Not 1,000 ideas, not daily pivots, just one relentless, boring commitment. For decades, you don't need excitement. You need consistency. Wealth is built in silence, while everyone else is chasing noise. Example, Warren Buffett reads 80% of his day. He's not checking trends. He's compounding knowledge. You don't become one of the richest people alive by chasing hype. You do it by letting time and boring decisions work together like best friends. And please, I have to pause the video right now and explain something to you. Most people will watch and don't apply anything I'm telling you. And it's not just this video. We have step-by-step videos we've created on the channel literally breaking down your path to financial freedom. Just make sure to subscribe and join the channel to always stay updated on our upcoming videos. Now let's train your brain to do something wildly uncomfortable that every millionaire does like clockwork. Rule number 6, normalize big numbers. If your brain flinches at $1,000, it will panic at $100,000 and completely short-circuit at $1 million. Wealth starts in your money thermostat, your subconscious comfort zone for numbers. And most people are stuck in a broke zone because they never train their mind to handle large figures. Millionaires immerse themselves in big numbers until they feel normal. They watch Shark Tank. They browse $5 million properties for fun. They study venture capital deals, not to show off, but to desensitize their brain to wealth. Want to reprogram your brain for millions? Spend a week studying people who talk in millions. And suddenly, your $50,000 job won't feel so impressive anymore. If you think $10,000 is a lot, your brain will panic the moment it's asked to handle $100,000. Example, a startup founder I know keeps a spreadsheet called Play Money Scenarios. He imagines having $10 million, $50 million, $100 million, and writes out exactly what he'd do. That exercise didn't just prep him mentally, it helped him pitch investors and grow to a $12 million valuation. We've tackled numbers. Now let's confront the single most self-sabotaging thought pattern keeping 99% of people broke. Rule 5. Stop thinking you need to deserve it. So what do I mean by this? Well, let's clear something up. Here's a mic drop. You don't get rich by being good. You get rich by being valuable. Too many people confuse morality with money. They believe deep down that wealth must be earned through struggle, virtue, or pain. And this might sting a little, but I don't care, it needs to be said. Money doesn't care how hard you work. You could be the most ethical, loyal, dedicated worker on earth and still be broke. Why? Because money doesn't flow to the most deserving. It flows to the most valuable. The middle class is trapped in a morality loop. They believe struggle equals virtue, that suffering somehow earns them financial blessings. Meanwhile, the rich are solving problems, building systems, and creating value at scale. You don't need to deserve money. You need to attract it strategically. Money isn't a reward for good behavior. It's a consequence of solving problems at scale. Instead of asking, am I worthy of wealth? Start asking, how can I offer more value in less time to more people? Example, a single mom built a digital product around budgeting for busy parents. She wasn't a guru, but she solved a problem and earned $40,000 in 3 months. Not because she deserved it, but because she was useful. Speaking of strategy, this next rule is how the rich literally bend time to build empires while others are too busy to even notice. Rule 4. Leverage other people's brains, time, and money. If you're trying to become a millionaire by doing everything yourself, you're not building wealth, you're building burnout. Wealthy people understand leverage. And don't worry, I'll show you how leverage works with real examples, so bear with me. Rich people don't ask, how can I do this? They ask, who can do this for me? Or what system can do this instead? That's how you multiply your output without multiplying your exhaustion. There are 3 types of leverage you must master. OPM, other people's money. Think investors, business loans, smart debt. OPT, other people's time. Delegation, outsourcing, hiring smart people. OPB, other people's brains. Mentors, partners, advisors, communities. The broke brain says, I'll figure it out myself. The rich brain says, someone else already figured this out. How can I pay, partner, or learn from them? Example. A friend of mine built a 7-figure coaching program, but he only works on the content. He hired someone else for marketing, someone for sales, and someone to manage operations. He's not the machine. He built the machine. You don't build empires by doing more. You build them by multiplying yourself. Let's turn the mirror around now, because no matter how smart you are, this next mental habit will silently drain your millions before they ever stack up. Rule 3. Watch your inner narrator. Now here's where it gets really heated. Everyone's got that voice in their head. The problem? Most people let theirs trash talk their own future. I'm bad with money. I could never afford that. That's for people who were born rich. These micro beliefs become macro barriers, and millionaires know your brain listens to what you repeat. Here's the truth. You're talking to yourself all day long. The only question is, what kind of crap are you telling yourself? I'm not good with money. I'll probably mess this up. I'm not the kind of person who gets rich. That inner voice, that's not just commentary. That's programming, and your brain is obedient. It does exactly what it's told. Millionaires protect their inner dialogue like it's a billion-dollar startup, because it is. They reframe everything. Instead of, this is too expensive, they say, how can I afford it? Instead of, I can't, they say, how would a wealthy version of me solve this? Example, there's a woman who started every morning by writing, I attract money with ease. At first, it felt silly, but a year later, she's pulling 6 figures as a freelancer and credits that silly affirmation with reshaping her decisions, her confidence, and even her pricing. Your inner voice is either building your future or burning it down. Choose wisely. Once your inner voice is aligned, it's time to load your mind with the highest yielding asset on earth. And no, it's not crypto. Rule 2, read, listen, absorb. All right, let's stop playing around for a minute and get serious. Here's a common trait of the ultra wealthy. They are obsessive learners. If your brain is your most powerful asset, then learning is your most powerful investment. The average CEO reads 60 books a year. The average broke person, Netflix binge and hot takes on Twitter. Look, you need to understand this clearly. The wealthy don't just read to feel smart. They read to find insights, patterns, and edge. Books are 10 years of someone else's wisdom compressed into 6 hours. Podcasts are billion-dollar strategies whispered into your AirPods for free. Courses, masterminds, mentors, they're cheat codes. And it's not about volume, it's about actionable absorption. One powerful idea applied aggressively can change your entire net worth. Example, one guy read The Millionaire Fastlane and realized he'd been chasing slow lane wealth his whole life. He pivoted, started an online SaaS product, and hit 2 million ARR in under 3 years. Most people scroll for entertainment. Wealthy people scroll for evolution. Now, for the final rule, this is the mental upgrade that flips your brain from trying to be rich to already thinking like you are. Rule number 1, identify as a wealth creator. This is the most powerful programming rule of all. Your brain behaves according to its identity. If you identify as someone trying to make money, you'll always feel like you're chasing. But when you shift your identity to I am a wealth creator, your brain looks for proof to match that belief. You'll start spotting opportunities. You'll approach risk differently. You'll invest, create, and scale with conviction, not confusion. So declare it now. I am a wealth creator. I don't chase money. I build value and money follows. The richest thing you can ever be is someone who knows they were meant to be rich. If you made it this far, congrats. You're already ahead of 99% of people still scrolling cat videos. Remember, your brain is your biggest asset or your biggest liability. Choose to program it with wealth-building thoughts, and you'll eventually build a wealth-filled life. Now here's your next move. Comment the words, future millionaire. So I know you paid attention. Share this with someone whose brain could use $1 million upgrade. In fact, if you truly want to take this thing to the next level, it's all about adopting the stealth wealth mindset, and there are 10 habits that build riches without anyone noticing. We break it down step by step here. Just click the video on the screen now, and we'll see you in the next one.